shootout time. Okay, Pilot Decimo versus Vanishing Point, also known as the capless Shootout. In this case, I think there is an interesting comparison between the two pens, because clearly they're very, very similar when it comes to their general looks, but there are some pronounced differences. So, first of all, the nose cone looks a little different, right? It's clear also, I think, when I hold them like this, that the Vanishing Point is quite a bit wider than the Decimo is. Next big difference, this is very reflective, I'll try to hold them like this. The clip of the Decimo is completely straight, whereas on the capless there is a cutout for your fingers, which is actually quite nice. But because the Decimo is a bit thinner, I find I don't really miss that cutout. Next big difference is these rings. I always found that a very iconic design on the Vanishing Point. You have these two rings, which actually are rings, and that's where the where the barrel separates. It's not a cap and barrel in this case. The Decimo has a similar thing, but those rings are less pronounced because one is actually bigger, it's a bit wider than the other. I don't know how well you can see that, but trust me, that is the case. The knobs, so the mechanism you push, is wider on the capless as well, wider than on the Decimo. But once you get to the under the hood part, you're basically talking about the same pen, because the nib units are completely interchangeable. So it doesn't really it doesn't really matter for the writing, the actual physical writing experience, which of the two you get. What matters is what you like in a pen. If you like a slightly wider, heavier pen, you should get the Vanishing Point. If you like a slightly thinner, lighter pen, the Decimo/Decimo is a good choice. And the price is always the same. I saw these on jet pens for $139, and these for, not this specific model because this was a limited edition, but the regular lineup Vanishing Point is $146.50. So that means there's almost no price difference between the two. And as I said, both have the 18K nib, same nib unit, so nib-wise they are the same. It's just the external parts. Okay, so even though they are the same, why don't we do a bit of a writing sample. Start with the Decimo. I put extra fine nibs on both, so that at least that is comparable. The ink is the same too. So it's not so much about the writing experience, because the nibs, as I said, are identical. It's really about the writing experience, the feeling of holding the pen. So I'll try to describe that as I compare them. Extra fine nib, lot of feedback, not really scratchy, but very, very fine. I feel that my finger slip a bit. I want to hold it a bit more highly up there, and I don't know how, I don't find that very comfortable. Wetness, well, it's okay, but it is an extra fine nib. Now if we change to the, both the inks are Waterman Florida blue, but Serenity blue. What am I going to call it? Well, let's do Vanishing Point, because that's how I typically refer to it. So again, same nib, no difference there. This cutout, I've never really been one for the Vanishing Point pens. I completely understand their practicality, but I just don't really like them that much. Writing here, similar experience, but I mean in the actual writing, but holding the pen, definitely more girth. and I have never found this very comfortable. You have that cutout, but to me it's just too wide, and if I for that point, if I want to hold it a little bit more highly up, I don't have that cutout. So I personally don't find this a very comfortable pen to use. Of the two, I would still probably prefer the Vanishing Point over the Decimo, simply because I find this one a little bit too skinny, and I'm not a fan of very thin pens, just for my personal preference. Writing experience on both, as I said, is the same, so it really is a matter of whether you like a slightly bigger, heavier pen or a thinner, lighter pen, and there's people in both camps. So there you have it. I hope that was useful, and I'll gladly see you later. Bye bye.
Bye.